Hi everyone, it's Clyde at Vibrant Soap, and today I'm not making soap, but I want to show you what I came up with. I frequently get some really great recipes and directions from Laura Vitale, so I'll leave you a link to her channel. And I already have a great recipe for cream puff shells, but as I was looking for a great pumpkin mousse to fill cream puff shells with, I saw that she had a perfectly great recipe and demonstration on how to make the shells. So basically I'm going to show you what she does, but I'm going to put two different things together. I'm going to put the pumpkin mousse together with the cream puff shells, and I'll tell you, it's really delicious, especially if you've got someone in your family that really loves pumpkin. So it's that time of the year, and let's get started showing you how this is made. So first of all, I've got a cup of water. I've got a half a teaspoon of salt, a stick of butter, 4 eggs, and 1 cup of flour. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that on the stove. So I'm just going to pour the water, a cup of water in the pan, add my stick of butter, and my half teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to heat that on medium-high until it melts. Just speeding the process by having a higher heat. We'll get it done more quickly, but I'm going to tend to it by stirring it and eventually turning the heat down a bit. Actually, I'm going to turn it down to medium right now. I'll just stir that intermittently until it comes to a boil, and then I'll bring you right back. Okay, that mixture is now boiling. I'm going to turn off the heat entirely and dump in my cup of flour and just stir that. It's going to be a kind of pasty mass of soggy dough. And just let this cool a little bit as I stir it, because my next step is the eggs, and I don't want them to scramble in there so fast. And actually right now it looks like mashed potatoes, exactly like mashed potatoes, but it's not going to taste like that. It's going to taste floury, of course. It's more quick to cool it off if you let the steam and heat escape, so I'm just going to stir it a little bit more, let it cool. Okay, I'm going to transfer this to a bigger bowl so I can do my next step. Okay, the next step is to get the eggs in there. And I like to break my eggs into a bowl, make sure that there's no eggshells in there first. And I'm going to kind of blend this in one egg at a time. As soon as it's incorporated into the flour mixture, I'm going to speed up my stirring. Can't go too vigorously at the start when you add these eggs because it'll splatter. Okay, I've got my oven heating up to 400 degrees. And I'm going to get this dough to a pastry bag. Okay, and I can add more dough to this bag when I'm done, but just wanted to show you a couple of these. One of the things I did a long time ago when I made cream puffs from a pastry bag before is I thought, I'm just going to make that little mound of dough by going in a circle And I learned not to do it that way because you end up with a hole on the bottom and then it can't hold the filling. So the best thing is to just push it out straight like that. And that's about the right size. It's a little over the look of a tablespoon because they'll puff up. And you can shape them a little bit once they're out there. Two of these ready to go, and we'll cook them for about 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, the pastry shells are almost ready, and they'll still have to cool down, so I have time to let this set up a bit. This is packaged vanilla pudding and a cup and a half of milk, and that's not the diet pudding, that's the full thing. Just to get that going a little bit. It doesn't really set up right away, but in the meantime I'm going to get the cup of pure pumpkin puree in with that. And blend that up. Scrape that just a little. And I'm only going to use a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and I mixed it up myself, but I'm only going to use a teaspoon of that. And that is 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now I'm just going to transfer this into a bowl and put it in the fridge for a short while so it can set up. Okay, the shells are all done, so I'm just going to let them cool off a little. I actually want them completely cool before I get the filling in there. So here is my heavy cream. I'm gonna blend that until it's a stiff peak and then fold it into my pumpkin mixture. Let's just check that. Not quite stiff peaks yet. Let's see how that turned out. That's how I want it. You can see how it can maintain its shape. Actually, this is my larger bowl, so I'm going to put my pumpkin mixture in this with a spatula. And so far, the only sugar in this recipe has been the sugar in the pudding mix. So I'm just cutting through to fold this in till it's one consistency. Although those swirls right now look pretty good. So this is a nice consistency. I'm going to put this in the fridge until the pastry part is all cool. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, and here are all the pastry shells all cooked, is to cut them all And I could pipe them in there, but I'd rather just spoon them in. It's up to you. You can see a little pocket in there. I don't want to slice it all the way off. I just want to have a little hinge so that I can close it back up again and it'll stay together. I'm going to leave a link to Laura Vitale. She has a lot of great recipes, and she usually simplifies recipes as well. And I saw her recipe for pumpkin mousse, and I thought that would be a great addition to a cream puff. Okay, so they're all sliced, so I just have to spoon in the mousse, and luckily there's a lot of mousse, so we can just have some of that all on its own as a dessert. There's that wonderful mousse. I just tried some, it's just great. So if I seem a little muffled, it's because I am wearing a mask. It's a nice color too. I think there's one more thing I usually do, and I think I'm going to do it. No, actually, usually what I do is I pull out some of that softer dough on the inside of the cream puff so that there's more room for filling. Yeah, like this one. So maybe I'm going to do it on those ones that have a lot of that inside there. Then I'm going to drizzle these with some dark chocolate just to add insult to injury. If you don't like pastries that are too sweet, then this is a good recipe. I really didn't have to empty out much of the insides this time. So that's good, makes it easy. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put them all in a little round Tupperware container to store them. And while they're in there, I'm going to drizzle it with chocolate. So I'll be right back. So I just melted some dark chocolate in the microwave at 30-second intervals. And on the last one, I noticed there were still some little bits of chocolate in there, but I took it out, and you can stir them up and they'll melt with the residual heat in there. So that's pretty smooth now. I'm going to put it in a plastic bag. I think that's good. Let me seal this, get some air out of there. And I'm going to snip off just a little corner. And then just drizzle that. Yeah, I made more than I really needed, but that's fine. Okay, so I'll put the cover on this and refrigerate it, and it's really going to be good for some visits with family tomorrow. We're going to be socially distant, have a socially distant lunch and a dinner, and then these will be dessert. Okay, I'm going to take my mask off and my glasses, and the rest of the desserts safely in the refrigerator. And how did I end up with the bigger one here? I don't know, but I'll give this a try without making a mess. It's not completely cool in the middle, but I can't wait. That is really good. I have chocolate all over my face. So you can see that pumpkin mousse along with the chocolate on top. If it's set up, the chocolate's going to be a little harder than this, of course, but let's take another bite. That's what I really need. Good pick-me-up. So, if you like pumpkin and you like cream puffs, I think you're really going to like these pumpkin mousse cream puffs. So, thanks for watching, And I know I don't make these food videos too often, but I thought this would be kind of fun to do. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.